Previously, I've talked about the distinction between the fear and insecurity of thinking you're no good as a writer versus knowing that you're awesome, but fearing you'll never find the people who recognize your brilliance. Now, as I spoke of this difference, I neglected to mention another trepidation that I think many self-published authors cultivate like a garden of crap. See, for all my brave talk of fearing nothing, I also feared making an effort to find an agent and publisher. The truth is, I was afraid of that for as long as I could remember. Something about it scared me, but it wasn't rejection. Something else burrowed under my skin with mandibles of terror, something I had feared all my life but never knew how to articulate until now. Compromise. That is what all creative souls fear. That is what fans berate musicians for when their favorite punk rock band finally becomes popular. That's what the degenerates crucify their skateboarding heroes upon when the skaters actually manage to make money and earn a living. Sellout. The ultimate insult. More offensive than any other word in the English language. Yeah, I know what you're thinking. No. Those other words aren't as offensive. Sellout is the worst, because a sellout is something you choose to become. That was my fear. Only I never knew it, because sellout is never a word that anyone uses to describe themselves. Sellouts call it compromise. Harlan wrote those words in a short story called Lonely Ache, in reference to a character hiring a prostitute. But the love of which he speaks can apply to any love, not just sexual. As the old saying goes, sluts do it for fun, whores do it for money. I have feared making an attempt at traditional publishing because I fear I might need to compromise, to sell out. That is why I have never sought a publisher, why I have never queried an agent. I fear that the things I want to write and the stories people want to buy might be two different things. I know there are people in this world who will be adoring fans of my writing, but what if there's only 5 of those people? I'm going to have to sell my books at $15,000 a piece. What if I'm expected to change my writing to make it more marketable to the world? You know, it's like that scene in the movie Amadeus when Mozart is devastated at the notion of changing his music and he cries to Salieri, "It's unbelievable! The director has actually torn up a huge section of my music. They say I have to rewrite the opera. But as perfect as it is, I can't rewrite what's perfect." I may not be the literary version of Mozart, but I'm delusional enough to think I am. This is the truth of why I mistrust editors and publishers. What if they ask me to change my work? I can't rewrite what's perfect. There's only one reason to ever do that. Every single editor who has ever existed has altered work for one reason and one reason alone: to sell more books. I know they will lie and say it's done in service to the story, and the story is the most important thing, and blah, blah, blah. It's bullshit. The truth is, no editor or publisher has ever wanted a story to be the best it can be. Their job is to make it the most marketable it can be. See, best is publisher speak for sellable. The best not for the sake of the artistic integrity of the tale, but for the bottom line, for sales. That is selling out. That is compromising. To write as I will and make a living at it is freedom. To alter what I write at the whim of publishers and editors is servitude. One is a dream, one is a job. I've had plenty of jobs in my life. I want to live the dream. The job of the author is to write. The job of the publisher is to sell. Publishers don't know their jobs. They think that their job is to make the work of an author profitable. That's not true. Their job is to make a profit from the work of the author. Huge difference. Their job is to sell what the author gives them, period. See, too many publishers think their job is to alter the work of the author to make it more bankable. Their job is never to alter the work of the author. No, false, never. If they can't sell what the author gives them, then they have no business working with that author. Work which is not easy to sell is not the responsibility of the author, it's the responsibility of the publisher. If work by an author isn't selling, that's because the publisher is bad at selling, not because the author was bad at writing. If I ever met an agent or publisher or editor who understood those things, who knew their place in the kingdom, I would embrace them and be honored to have them serve as my knights and shield maidens. Many folks would say, well, how do you know so much about publishers if you admit you never had one? Well, hey, go fuck yourself, okay? I don't need to have a rhinoceros shoved up my ass to know it would hurt. At what price do we sell our souls? When do we turn from writing sluts into writing whores? Sometimes I feel like I'm Ernest Borgnine in drag. God, no wonder I struggle to sell my whoring. Be sure to like and subscribe, and thank you very much for watching. Catch you next time.